was a bootleg. Then he comes right back with another bootleg.
You know who didn't change their identity?
Oh boy, who didn't?
Your boy Dan Campbell.
Oh,
He kept at it with his fourth down conversions.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna get to the NFC Championship, I'm guessing, at this point. Okay. I'm going to bring out my notes for this one, too. Okay.
Took a lot of notes, huh?
I did my job. You know, I like this stuff, and, you know, I figured I'd be a professional. First quarter, as we knew, Detroit goes up 7-0 in a fucking heartbeat. Okay, 4 plays. I wrote Ben Johnson, exclamation point. They give the ball to Jamison Williams on a reverse that literally fucking juked Nick Bosa out of his jock. Okay. And Jamison Williams took it all the way.
Can I stop you real quick? Because this really fucked up all my betting. I mean, not all of it, but it was a big part of the problem. How does jerk off Jamison Williams not do basically jack shit all year and then just show up in the biggest game of the year? Now I get it, baller's ball, but
that's good.
All this it was almost like he stepped up and Amos stepped back. It was
I don't know where the fuck Amon-Ra St. Brown was. I mean, seriously, especially in the second
dropping
half.
balls and shit. I couldn't believe it.
But Jamison Williams, that was a bright spot. And then I get to San Fran on their first drive. I said it's too much Purdy so far. Where's CMC? Hutchinson is a fucking monster, and he's going to continue to be a fucking monster. But they get down to field goal range. And an issue that we had talked about on a previous show, when you have a rookie kicker, it's just you never know what you're going to get. And I'll get to Forrest Gump also a little bit later, but Jake Moody misses a field goal to start off the game, and you're now saying, oh boy, is the upset coming? Because then once Detroit gets the ball, they keep fucking dominating the line of scrimmage, and Monty takes one in from the goal line and puts Detroit up 14-0.
Can we remember when a kicker was taken in like the top 3 rounds that it's panned out? And I'm not saying Moody's a complete bust yet or anything like that, but like feels like anytime these kickers are taken in the top like 3 rounds, because Moody was taken in the 3rd round, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Anytime a kicker's taken in the 3rd round, it's like a nightmare situation. And maybe I'm just scarred from the Mike Nugent days. But like I think Tucker was taken late, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, no, he wasn't. Nope.
I think all these like stars were like in the 5th, 6th round or weren't even drafted. It's like, why are we drafting kickers?
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think if you want to go get your hands on, one of these stud punters, I think that could potentially work. But I'm not taking them in
not in the 3rd round. But I agree, maybe a 5th or 6th round punter if you get like
that's a weapon. That's a weapon, that can flip field position. But these kickers, man, there's too much going on in between the years for me to draft them high. I agree with you. Second quarter, you're thinking, when's San Fran going to wake up? They finally do with a drive that's all CMC and Kyle Juszczyk, who was huge in this fucking game. And CMC puts it in the end zone to make it 14-7. But then they Detroit kind of stalls out, and San Fran gets the ball back again, but they just keep getting dominated by the Detroit defensive line. And this is when Purdy throws the interception. And when real quick,
your thoughts on that? Yeah, did you think that was? I mean, I don't think it's really his fault, but did you blame Purdy for that?
Well, I mean, he got smashed. Coming in, the defense tackle coming in, whacked him. I think it was Kaminsky, whacked him, and Rodriguez is sitting right there, and it comes right into his fucking lap. That's the problem we've talked about that you're going to run into with Purdy is if he's got a clean pocket. Cool. If he doesn't, he's in trouble because he can't see, So that's exactly what happened. He tried to force one over the top, couldn't see Rodriguez was sitting right there, and there you go. So I'm looking at that. I said, holy shit,
Can I say something though?
Right here.
Can I say something though too about Purdy? And I know we'll get into more of him at the end of this thing, but I do think a difference between Purdy and let's say a Lamar. Or Purdy and Josh Allen is when Purdy throws picks or when Purdy has a bad day, and I don't think he had a bad game at all yesterday, but when he played bad 3 quarters of the Packers game, maybe 3.5 quarters, even though he throws bad balls sometimes, and even though he'll throw picks, it's usually his picks are usually coming from being a bad, like him being hit, and his bad play usually comes from him throwing bad balls. But what I don't see is bad decision making. Like, I'll see him pick the right guy and then overthrow him, or I'll see him pick the right guy and throw behind him when he's playing bad, like he did in Green Bay. What I don't see him do is what Lamar Jackson did by, you got a guy open over here, you got a guy open here, but I'm going to throw the guy with 3 people on him.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I will say, I do like the fact that his decision making always seems to be on point. Yeah. He just needs to like settle his nerves and make sure he's got a clean pocket, like you said, and he's delivering the ball properly.
Yeah. And he's not concussed, like we learned that he was in the Minnesota game. But they don't stop him at all. And Detroit fucking dominates on the offensive line again. And Jahmyr Gibbs gets in the end zone to make it 21-7. By the time that I didn't think Purdy had a good first half at all, actually. Once he got the ball back, he was, his balls just seemed like they were just a bit outside.
I didn't think he played bad. I thought I didn't think he played as bad as Green Bay. I thought he could have been better.
But it wasn't a good first
half. But I
think
he was under duress a little bit.
Wasn't a good first half, and then it was unreal. The 49ers could not get the Detroit Lions off the field on their last drive before the end of the half. They lost conversions of 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18, and 3rd and 6, leading to finally Dan Campbell making the right decision at the end of the first half to kick the field goal and go up 24-7, 17-point lead going into the half. The question I asked myself, and I said, will San Francisco please ride CMC and Debo? With multiple question marks.
Yeah, you fucked up my whole betting thing, because you put in the universe that CMC was going to get 3 tutties, and he basically did. Elijah Mitchell only came in because he hurt his neck.
I know. So what does San Francisco do when they get the ball in the third quarter? The first 4 plays, CMC and Debo touch the ball. Purdy looked a little off still, but they kick a field goal. They go down 24-10. Okay. Here we go. Danny boy. I know you like the kneecaps, right? I know you like the kneecaps. I know you love the Lions and the Siegfried and Roy. I get it, brother. Okay. You led the Detroit stinking Lions, to their first NFC Championship game in over 30 years. You're the first coach in like 70 fucking years for the Detroit Lions to win 2 playoff games. Okay. And if you weren't such a fucking jackass, you'd be going to the Super Bowl right now, Danny. You're up 14. Okay.
Hey, what I tell you, great teams don't lose games.
Thank you. Great coaches don't lose games for their team either.
Oh, wait, you calling Kyle Shanahan a great coach?
We're going to get into Dan Campbell plenty by the end of this game. But at this point in the game, you're up 14. Stuffing it down their throats still. You decide, you know what? We just saw Jake Moody finally put a ball through the uprights. Okay. To now make our lead only 14 instead of to make our lead 14 instead of 17. We just ate up about 4.5 minutes on this fucking drive. We got a 4th down on the, I believe it was the 29-yard line, 28-yard line, something like that. You know what? Instead of just erasing all the hard work you just did, San Fran, to put that 3 on the board, and we'll just take it right back. It's okay. It's 4th and 3. We're going to go for it because we're ballsy. We love kneecaps. That's our diet right now. It's just fucking kneecaps, patellas, and fucking ACLs and MCLs and PCLs. Okay, that's what I fucking eat. They go for it. Fucking throw it to Josh Reynolds, your boy, and he fucking drops it on 4th down. Now that gives San Fran the ball. Okay. Now.
By the way, I had Josh Reynolds over 2.5.
2.5.
He got thrown the ball 3 times. 2 in his chest dropped, 1 caught.
I want you to just I want you to retort with me a little bit for what I'm about to say. Just make me feel like maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, that's easy to do.
If you go for the 4th down, Scotty, let's just say like they did, 4th and 3 at the 28, say. And if you convert,
yes,
does that guarantee you score a touchdown?
It definitely increases the odds of a touchdown. I'll tell you that.
I would agree with you on that. Okay. Let me ask you this question. You go for it on 4th and 3 on the 28. What happens if, say, I don't know, you get down to like the 10-yard line? Now the down and distance turns into 1st and goal. Let's just say you can only gain 2 yards in 3 plays. What do you do on 4th and goal from the 8, Scotty? You've already gone for it on 4th and 3 from the 28. What would you do from 4th and goal?
I get what you're saying, but I don't know why you. I mean, maybe you're not shocked by this, but this is the same guy that went for the 2-point conversion in the Dallas game like 5 times in a row.
And you
like,
don't learn.
I'm telling you, if he went down to 4th and goal, if he converted that 4th down and then went 4th and goal, he's going for it again.
See, I don't, and you can't, but because you have to.
I wouldn't have gone
through a red light. You're rushing to get somewhere, and you go through a red light, right? But yet you stop at the next one. Why? Right? You've already fucking broken the law. Now just take it all the way. So if you're gonna go, if you're not gonna go for, if you're gonna go for it and not kick the field goal, then you're going all the way with it, right? But tell me this. If then they went for it on 4th and goal from the 8 and didn't get it, and now the game is still only a 2-score, 14-point game. Even if you scored the touchdown, what does it turn into? A 3-possession game. I know it's 21, better than 17, sure, but there's still 3-possession games. You're not gaining anything.
I agree with you. There's no way you don't kick a field goal there.
Fucking stupid.
I think circumstances matter. So let me break this down for you. If it's reversed, what was the score at that time? 24-7?
24-10.
24-10. I think if it's the other way, I think if it's 24-10 Niners, then I'm okay with Dan Campbell going for it because you got to get that juice and you got to make up ground. Yeah. I agree with that. When you're up 24-10, you just need a 17-point game.
Fuck.
I agree with you 100%.
How hard is it? How hard is it, right? So then, but then, like, this is what also you got to think about. This ain't the regular season anymore, Danny. It's the playoff. It's the fucking championship game. Like, the soup, the chip, if you will, is waiting for you. Nah, let's just keep going for it. Let's keep fucking around, right? And then, because it's the playoffs,
that's just who this guy is, man. I knew this was gonna catch up to him sooner or later.
Mojo is huge. Okay, what happens on the next drive? Kendall Vildor, the cornerback for the Lions, who used to play for the Bears, who's awful. No idea how he's still on the field. He pulled a Canseco. Did you see it? He fucking goes down and he's about to play the ball.
He shoot up on the sideline.
He should have. He should have. The ball hits him in the fucking head. And it pops off into Ayuk's hands. Remember Canseco when the ball hit off his fucking head and goes over?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And then a couple plays later, Ayuk gets a touchdown. Now they're only down 7. You go from having 17-point lead to now a 7-point lead, and now the ball just bounced over your fucking moron cornerback's head.
What was your thoughts on that play, by the way?
Oh my God! I mean,
because I had a lot of people tell me that this is the Niners just being lucky. Brock Purdy sucks. He shouldn't have got that play. That was like a Giants. Tyree, whatever his name is. I forget the guy's name.
Tyree,
Oh, David Tyree. That's his name. I know it was Tyree something.
Yep.
Some people just told me, oh my God, Ayuk is incredible. They got to pay this guy, which I heard they're in contract negotiations already.
He's the man. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is. And from all accounts, from what I've heard, he's a very good teammate too. Like he's
one of the best route runners I've ever seen. He's one of the best route runners I've ever seen. I mean, he's incredible.
You call him a number one receiver?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I think he had, what he had, like 1,600 yards this year, 1,500.
Bro, he had. It's not that much, but he is because of the team he's on. If he was targeted as much as a,
He had. I think he had like over 1,200 yards though.
We'll talk about. Yes, he did. But I'm saying he could have had a 1,600 yard season if he's the number one.
If there's not like 5 other weapons on the team.
Absolutely. But we and I'll go into him in the offseason because he's one of the guys
13,
who I really love.
1342 on the season.
1342.
It's pretty incredible.
Fuck. Yeah, he's a stud. But no, it wasn't luck or whatever. It was a dumbass play by Detroit, and it's the momentum. Momentum's real. And the mojo was in San Fran's favor because Detroit fucked it up. And
now was that okay, go ahead.
Then the next play, Scotty. So Ayuk scores a touchdown, right? They're down now only 7.
This is where shit flips.
First fucking play of Detroit's next series. Either Goff or Jahmyr Gibbs goes the wrong way on a running play.
Yeah, you could tell something's off with that handoff.
Something was shot with the handoff.
I don't know if it was Goff turned the wrong way or Gibbs went the wrong way, but honestly, at that point, it's like it just didn't look good.
And boom, ball's on the ground. Eric Armstead's all over it, and immediately the San Francisco 49ers are in cashing zone to score and tie this fucking game up when Detroit seemingly had a 17-point lead, which seemed like a fucking eternity ago at this point by the way that they're playing. So
which by the way, this turns into becoming the largest NFC Championship comeback in history.
Yeah. And Detroit let it happen. And I'm telling you, this was another game where you could say Detroit lost and San Francisco really didn't win this thing. Detroit gave this fucking thing away.
You could say that. Yeah.
So,
okay, real quick, though. The difference for me, and I'll let you finish what you're going on, but I just want to get this thought out. The difference for me between this and the Chiefs game, the Chiefs dominated. The Chiefs had a historic Kelsey day. The Chiefs played well on defense, and it looked like they didn't win it. The Niners looked asleep for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I agree with you. I think it was more about them not losing it than winning it. But to me, that's different. When one's having a historic day and dominating and they barely win, and then the other one doesn't show up for half the game and they barely win. Like, that's two different sides.
No, there were definitely two different looking games, but it was the same thought. It's just Detroit should have been in the Super Bowl. It should have been Detroit and Baltimore.
I agree.
These teams played, right? So,
which would have been an insane fan base.
I know
on both sides.
I know. Having Detroit and the Ravens. I mean, yeah, I know. I'm with you. But the fact that when Purdy makes the switch in the second half, it's really because of his feet. Once he starts running with the football, now everything opens up, right? They couldn't stop CMC in the second half. CMC goes in and scores. Now the game is tied at 24. Okay, after the fucking end of the first half, it was 24-7 Detroit. Okay, now we get into the fourth quarter. Detroit, another momentum thing. Detroit has to punt. They have 2 guys down on the punt, and they're going to down it right at the 1-yard line. Okay, they fucked it up. And you just knew, like at that point, like when they even like that, they look like I don't know, like they fucked it up. They're going.
The moment
down.
I think it felt like the moment was a little too big.
It was too big. Dan Campbell got his ass like too tight.
Honestly, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the only guy I felt, I mean, Hutch had a great game, but I think the only guy that seemed cool, calm, and collective the entire game was Jared Goff. And it's surprising that that's the guy.
Right.
Because even the plays that they didn't convert, he made the right decision. He threw a nice ball.
You're right.
The whole game, he didn't have any turnovers like I thought he would.
Yeah.
He looked cool. Like he was ready for that.
Numbers. Look at
and I get it. He's been there before. He was ready for that moment.
He was the only, it's 16 incompletions, but 273, 1 touchdown, no turnovers, a 60 QBR, which is fine.
Fucking rush yards.
Bro, he had no
0.
The under. Oh my god,
Bro, Gibbs could have bumped into him and got him the rush yards. They didn't get shit.
I can't believe it, Scotty. I mean, they didn't have any opportunities to do quarterback.
It was not my weekend.
No opportunities to do a scramble. I mean, nothing. It was crazy. He didn't even have negative yards, Scotty. He had nothing. I was like, I couldn't believe I was watching that the whole game. But so now, okay. So finally, you get to the fourth quarter, and Purdy he just keeps running. Like Purdy was just Forrest Gumping it all the way, in the second.
Hey,
half.
I respect it though. Like he's not a runner, but like he was sneaky fast, dude. He was getting the decent yards. I mean, what do you have, like 43 rushing yards or something like that?
He has 48 rush yards. So his line here was 20 for 31. He had 267 touchdown in that pick, 88 QBR, which is fucking fantastic, and 48 rushing yards.
Well, 20 for 31 is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, so but he took 2 big sacks in a row on that drive. They had to kick a field goal.
I agree. Yeah.
Moody hits it right. So finally, he hits one. Now they're in the lead, 27-24. I want to say Ambry Thomas is the weak link of this 49ers team. He's one of the worst corners I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he almost blew it. Multiple times in this game.
You blew it.
But you know who else blew it? Fucking Dan Campbell. This is number 2. Okay. This guy is
this one. I think that you're going to talk about is a little different. I have a different thought on, but go ahead.
You got to kick the field goal to tie the game, right?
Yeah.
So they go for it again. Okay, and this is even further. This is, I believe, at the 30-31 yard line. Okay, they go for it again, and again. It's like, let's just imagine. Okay, Badgley, who used to be called the Money Badger, would kick this field goal.
Who called
the ball game?
Who called them the Money Badger? I need to meet these
He
people.
trademarked it. He trademarked it coming out of Miami.
So he called himself the Money Badger?
Yes. Yeah, and he was a hot commodity. He was great at Miami in college, and then he just shit the bed in the pro.
I'm happy he's out of the playoffs now.
This is like his 7th fucking team.
Jeez.
But again, they kicked the field goal. They would have tied the game at 27. This touchdown at the end of the game they score would have sent them into OT. Okay, so like that's the shit. Take the points. And guess what? Even if they scored a touchdown at the end, just like they did, blah, 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 they kicked the other field goal. They win the game by 3. So that's why you got to take the points, right?
I agree with you. I thought you were going to talk about the end, the last drive. So I agree with you. Both fourth downs, you kick the field goal. I mean, you win the game.
Unreal. So the games, they're going to the chip if they fucking kick field goals. And I know that's like,
I agree with you.
Yep. No, that's football. It's how football works. Take the points, especially in the playoffs. Okay. But they left it when they turned the ball over. They let San Fran now go down the field. Purdy's looking clutch. CMC's looking great. And then did you see that play? CMC looked like he broke his fucking neck. I thought he broke his neck on the sideline. He
He'll be
runs
fine.
out. He's about to do a flip over. He's trying to flip over himself, but he can't. The helmet catches the grass, and it looks like he fucking broke his neck. I was like, holy shit. So they bring Eli Mitchell in, of course, for the one play, and they vulture CMC's 3rd touchdown in the game. They go up 34-24. Okay. Now Detroit goes right down the field. And now, granted, I hate the timeout that they wasted. They ran the ball on 3rd and goal, with 3 timeouts, which they really needed at the end of the game.
I know, insane. I don't know why they did that.
Timeout, stupid, but they score. Jamison Williams on 4th down catches the back of the ball. Again. I mean, you couldn't even, like, he caught it with fingertips, and it was the back of the ball. This kid's going to be a stud if he can stay healthy. He proved it this game.
No, the problem is the kid's a jerk off. I've seen a bunch of interviews on him. He was the one that got caught with the gambling. Yeah. I just don't know if he's going to last. I think he's going to be, I don't want to say Antonio Brown or anything, but he's going to be like, I don't know.
Antonio Randy Moss maybe in the beginning. He's got it like the fact
kind of, yeah, like a Randy Moss.
We knew when he was coming out of college he was going to be electric. Okay. And then now it's if he can stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. But here's the thing now, Scotty. I'm going to bring up one thing, and that was the ball game. Of course, they couldn't get the onside kick, and San Francisco wins this game.
Well, question on that last drive. Are you one of the people that think they should have kicked the ball on 1st down?
What are you talking about?
So on the last drive, you're down 10. You got to get a touchdown. You got to get a touchdown and a field goal to tie it. So either way, you're going to have. So either way, you're going to have to kick an onside kick. So if you kick the field goal right away, you might have a chance, even if you don't kick the onside kick, or if you do, you might have a chance to stop them with at least 20 seconds left.
I agree with you. It's situational. So if you're 30 yards away, kick the field goal. If you're 20 yards away,
they were 48 yards away, and I think that's why they didn't do it, because if you look it up, Badgley's like 55% or something between 45 and 50, which is not a great statistics.
Yeah. I'm saying yard line. Like if you're close, you got to go for the end zone. If you're further away, you got to kick the field goal. I know he wasn't good.
They were further away. But I think part of the problem was they were worried about his kicking accuracy.
They were driving though. They were driving, and I think at that point, especially once you get close, you got to go. You got to get to the end zone, right? Because if you then waste more time, like let's just say you punted, right? Or I mean, you kicked the field goal, kicked off, right? Now you're down 7. Well, I know you have 3 timeouts, but if you say each play takes 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then they got to punt, right? Now you got to drive the whole field with no timeouts to get a touchdown. I don't like that, right? So go get the touchdown. But I was going to say, how fucking silly would it be? Like, this is what I think he should do. This is what I wrote down here. Hey, Campbell, why don't you go for fucking 2? Then you could have won with a field goal after the onside kick, you jackass. Think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, when does it stop?
Hey, Campbell.
Yeah, when
You're writing him a letter?
I am. Okay.
Hey, Campbell.
And I got another letter for these assholes using one phrase too in a second. But I don't understand when the aggressiveness stops, because again, you could think of it like that too. Let's just say like that I mean 34-30. Jameson Williams just catches the touchdowns. 34-30. You either kick the extra point to go down 3, knowing that you have 2 timeouts and a minute and so left, and you got to get an onside kick. So 2 timeouts, you can do whatever you want. If you go for 2 and you get the onside kick, get the onside kick. Now that field goal is to win. So like you can even make that argument too, which is still fucking asinine. But I'm just saying, I
thought you were making that. I was like, you're out of your fucking.
You can't. I'm just saying, people will. People will say, well, wait a second. Well, if we kick the extra point, but then we get the onside kick, the field goal would only tie it. What if we got the 2-point conversion and we got the onside kick?
All they had to do was kick one of those field goals, and if they kick both of them, they probably win. But even if you just kick one of them,
you go to overtime.
You go to OT.
I'm with you. You got a shot. You got to get the fucking points.